right, no problem.
Hey, this is Studio 586B Live, and these are the stories, okay? These are 10 questions, and today we have the wonderful, amazing Courtney Parris from my bloodline, okay? We got the same blood, we're cousins, okay? Um, Out the gate, I'm gonna ask you the first question. Where are you from?
Brooklyn.
How's
You
Brooklyn? How do you like it? How is it?
no other city like it. Um, for a very long time, I was under that. Uh, couldn't find a better. I've since found some, but um,
Alright, okay.
Brooklyn, that city.
Tell me, what's your first memory?
Um, so since as a child, I've chronological.
Okay.
I've two distinct memories I have. One is at Niagara Falls.
Okay.
I've the other was my aunt's her house had a ambulance toy truck. I used to
An
whenever went over to
ambulance
their house.
toy truck. That
Yeah, I don't know if it still goes on. But I think like Hess or to have like personal, uh toy trucks or cars. I don't. I was too young to fully understand how you could get one. Have commercial. Coca Cola also had something like toy trucks or so. House. I was like, that's mine. Wasn't mine. Never officially gave it
you were
to me,
like,
but I
I'm
was
playing
like,
with this, okay?
yeah.
Everybody needs to know I'm playing with this. This is my toy, okay? While I'm here, this is my toy.
Like stand back. I mean, it
Right?
didn't make any noise, but it was so awesome. The doors would open. I'd pretend to.
Those were my favorite cars. Was the open, and you could
Yeah,
drive with it. That was my.
yeah. Because they did make cheap ones that have. Why would you
Why
make
would
a
you even do
car?
that?
Yeah,
Like
you
why would you?
know.
How do you
How do I work? What do you mean? How do I function, or
how do you
how do
work?
I
Like what do you
go
what
to
do
go
you
to work
put your
every day?
energy in life force?
Uh, so I've always seen myself as a paradox that um, I'm the most serious free spirit you'll ever meet. That makes sense. My approach to life is intense while being as like hippie level free as possible. Uh, I've never really figured out. It's only been a past few catching my spirit. Like I guess it's like a manifest. Have I approached very um very intense, borderline mundane perspective, but then I also have a colorful perspective on the same
I'll
subject
say,
that
I'll
I
say,
can't.
I'll say I agree, like wholeheartedly,
Yeah.
because okay, okay. I don't know what it is about my cousins, but I'm gonna let y'all know something. We're all the same. I swear we're all the same person, just copy and pasted. Okay,
It's a
like
family affair.
because like I could be like deadly serious sometimes and like really take everything to heart, but at the same time I'll
Yeah.
be like, that was kind of funny, like like
Yeah.
just it was
Uh,
kind of whimsical or something, you know, like
now
it's
that now that you mention it, it might actually be a family trait because when I think about everyone else, I think everyone else approaches life this everyone else in this way. Very interesting. So
yeah,
the
I
things you
always
don't really notice.
yeah, it's something I noticed when I was talking to you and I talked to Tamino and I was like, dude, they're the
Tamino
same
too.
person. I'm like, what? I'm like, and then we relate so well and we have good conversation and I'm like, we're all the same person, I swear. Like,
Right,
but
right.
it's
Oh,
nice, it's nice the differences, even though there's like differences and there's balance, you know? So tell me, how do you play?
Uh, I want to say the same way that I work, but that's not. Um, huh. I'm passionate. I like
Okay.
to in it. So one example is that too.
That's
One example is during high school, I joined the only sports team I was ever part of, only for
okay.
was the handball team. Joined the handball team. I joined it because I loved playing handball in junior. And when I got into high school, I found that what they were saying. I was I loved handball to death, but I was terrible at it. Probably not terrible. Like I wasn't like a star athlete, but I loved it. So my ethics playing impressed my coach because he saw that I wasn't a star and he saw that I was trash. But he's like, your your sportsmanship and exuberance comes off as amazing.
I tell you what. I tell you what. I got the same speed. I got the same basketball basketball coach I had. I think, and
Yeah.
he could see I was trash. I was terrible. Okay, I'm not good at basketball. Let's be
Approximately when
honest.
Ross stopped growing.
Yeah, yeah, that's when you can see it. But no, I swear, said this kid has more heart than all of y'all, and it's like it's about playing this to have fun.
Right.
But you know, like that is that how you feel you approach like
Absolutely.
life?
Like when I'm playing a game, I'm not playing to, even though winning is nice. Like that is part of playing. Like you
Right.
want to win, but if I don't win, I'm not unhappy. Like I wanna enjoy over win. So if I have to compromise um getting to the goal and just so that oh, usually if the game is enjoyable for me, everyone else is also enjoyable. So like I prioritize the atmosphere feel of the game over winning it. Even though
Vibes. I get
I
it.
do want to win. Yeah,
Yeah. What do you love? Oh
what do
wait,
I
wait,
love?
wait, wait. I'm sorry. I'm
Uh,
sorry. I skipped one.
uh,
My bad. Hold on. How do you pray?
unceasingly a warrior. I love praying. I think, and outside of talking to God or um, prayer is the space where I could meditate slash ask for. Because talking to God is always right. Suppose we're in the day spirituality, the idea of talking to divine being, all that. And I think there, I think it does exist, but I don't think there are very many people who talk to God and like a thundering back. I do believe that is. I believe that could exist, but I don't think that's a
Noah, you
common
will build
occurrence.
an ark.
Right, right.
Rot, you must stop touching yourself.
No.
Mid stroke.
You're like, what? What? Who is that? Who's there? Why can you see me?
Turns out it's a little speaker at the corner of your bed.
Right,
Just hook up a motion detector.
it's like an alarm. Alarm system. Oh my gosh.
That's basically how God works.
I would say I don't pray often. I do find myself praying it,
Right,
giving myself
right,
up. Have to be strong, or
right,
I don't have to care about how I am. I just have to be
right,
there and be present,
right,
just experience it.
right. I
Um,
I think that uh, in the greater scheme of things, they establish the traditional like value of prayer was for meditation. Prayer is like um, I think when religion becomes more, um, lack of a better word, common, less meant God wish, you know, the God wish that this, that, for,
right,
for people,
right,
even spiritualists, people who don't believe in Earth, they'll ask the
right.
please universe, I'm
Please,
putting it out there. Yeah.
right, right.
I've,
Please,
So
I've,
just
universe, I need $1 million. Please.
I've just,
right.
I've just gotten a memo from God.
Yeah, yeah.
If people could at least avoid asking for additional stuff on Fridays, he has a lot of high school football games to decide.
Seriously, I feel
God,
like the
please
human
let me win
psyche
this
can't
game.
live without it.
Right?
That's funny.
You understand there are people currently making offers and deals here. We don't have time for your silly prayers.
Right,
Somebody has just offered to quit smoking for the rest of their life if I
right,
make sure their wife doesn't find out about their girlfriend.
right.
Okay, now I can get to what do you love? What
uh,
what do you love?
that's a question.
Really short questions, but yeah, they kind of, and it
Yeah.
builds. I promise.
It gets worse.
It gets worse from here.
I think love is the hardest one for me because it's on the lines of love everything, love nothing. I,
Right?
I'm in love with. I'm in. Oh, firstly, I would cringeworthily say I'm in love with God. Um,
Okay.
that means, but it does to even to me it seems not about you rehearsed in a sense. So,
feels
right,
like everybody gives that answer.
right.
Grandma's
I love
watching, and you know
God.
what you better say.
I love God.
Right, right. I love God a lot. Yeah,
Right.
like, oh, I love family, something like that. But I think the honest answer, which would be the most difficult to explain, is that I have a love for almost everything that's not unpleasant. You know, and even sometimes the unpleasant things will surprisingly bring some door with it because it either teaches or brings some level of familiarity, depending on input. But um, I almost want to say that I'm in love with the experience.
Would I sound like a cornball to say that I'm in love with life?
No, not at all.
Okay.
I don't think there's something in as you get perspective,
Hmm.
even like crap that was crappy when I was young that I felt like was awful, and I learned some stuff there. That
Right,
I wouldn't be me. I wouldn't be right
Where I'm
where
at.
I wouldn't be where I'm supposed to be.
Right.
It's funny. I'd be
right,
somewhere different.
You know?
But I feel like I'm supposed to be here, and this lately has made sense. So no, it. You're present in the moment, and every day is like a day you've never experienced. Make it this foggy day, so you've never
right,
been there before. Never been there
right.
before. Yeah, no, I dig your answer because it kind of relates to a lot of answers. Yeah, go ahead, Ross. Sorry.
It's okay.
Got all excited.
It's okay. I was gonna say like I feel like I'm also really in love with those like I like step outside of my body and I'm like, yo, I'm really just living life, man. Like I feel good
Right,
at this moment. I just feel like things are moving.
right.
Things are happening.
It's interesting that you say step outside your body because that sounds like a very in body,
Well,
like
it's an
experience.
embodied thing, but it's like I'm looking
Yeah,
at the way my life is going and I'm good about it.
right.
Yeah.
Sounds like you enjoy living in the moment.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I could feel that. Oh wow.
Exactly.
See?
So,
Exactly. Right?
no, this one's actually an easy one for me.
Okay, okay.
But I say oh wow because it what of the emotional terror comes in. So I was on a date once and it became so before it wasn't very clear to me, but for some reason this date like um drew out the clarity and I told my date I don't know why I would do this, but like the moment of truth. I told the date that I'm like I'm like Ren and Stimpy. I'm like Ren on a I'm like Ren on a cold day, a very very cold day outside with no jacket.
Okay.
Like I'm trembling on the inside. Like everything is absolutely frightening. Like you know, I don't know if it was Jordan Peterson. Yeah, Jordan Peterson. He was like, you know, when psychoanalyzing, if he psychoanalyzes that, um, when talking to his patients, who are suffering from like irrational fears, his retort is like, how are normal people? I'm probably like misquoting him, but he's like, how are normal people not afraid of everything? Because like the day to day, yeah, our city protects us, and
How is it that
there's
it's
not
the norm
to
to
it.
not be scared?
Yeah, that's
How
so
is that
strange
the
to me.
norm? It should be the I mean, I would think that it's abnormal to not be scared of everything. Everything is scary.
Everything is absolutely scary. Everything can almost indefinitely kill you.
Exactly. It's not like the universe
Yeah,
wants us to be here. It's
yeah,
weird. It's
yeah.
not like they
Not the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. He'd never hurt us.
right, 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 right.
even he too. One
He
one
too
fall
was
over your
dead.
nose and your mouth.
Oh,
Marshmallow Man can definitely
I'm
end
telling.
people.
Exactly. See, everybody.
Stay puffed. Yeah.
Yeah, stay puffed. That needs to be a new.
Yeah, exactly.
Yo,
Stay
my brother,
puffed,
stay
man.
puffed.
You know?
Throw marshmallows at each other.
Oh, that's it's
I,
fun to laugh at what you're afraid of. It's
well,
funny.
Absolutely.
I think of. I'll talk about. There's the mind. Dawns on me,
Mm,
and thought that went through my
mm.
head was, here's a message inside how it receive it
Right,
as a letter you read and set down and move on to the next thing, or
right,
do you let it
right.
be what control? I appreciate not saying that you did. I was so worried that when you're, oh, that's
Yeah,
easy.
no.
Hey,
Uh,
somebody's spiders. And I'm like, I guess that's an
I guess
answer.
that's the
I'm so
Hey,
strange about that sort of thing. Like I'm terrified at the sight of spiders, but if I were to stew with one for a minute, I wouldn't be afraid anymore. I guess that's we get used to our fears once we face it, maybe. I don't,
yeah,
but, um,
okay. So I was bit by a brown recluse when I was about 11.
oh wow.
Had no idea, not aware. I was cleaning out a dog. Paid me to clean out this dog's hadn't been in time, and I, being the wise 11-year-old, and got bit on the top of my foot. Anyway, so I had like a real like reasonable,
you had a
legitimate fear.
reasonable
I
reason to
right,
be
it
afraid
was
of spiders.
reasonable to
Wow.
be me to be afraid of spiders. And similar
Wow.
to your reaction, so I went out and bought a tarantula when I
Right.
first moved out of the house as soon as I could have one
Right.
You were
because I
like,
needed to
okay,
get so I need to let
I need to get over this.
I needed to let spiders crawl around on me. And I'll tell you about spiders. Ends up,
Right.
but he's afraid of the spiders they can see. That's all just prank
Right.
and bullshit. No, it's when you
Right.
walk through that web and wonder where the hell that spider is.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
That's
when
the
you're afraid of
terror. Yeah,
spiders.
yeah, yeah. That's when you, yeah.
So your mind blows it up to like mythical proportions. Insane how conscious us, or rather, make the world something that could be that could be linked to why I'm afraid. Because especially as a child, I was like laden with fear, child, because I didn't know anything. Probably less fear that I have tantamount to the amount of knowledge I gain. And I think everybody might.
A sense of
So
control
yeah,
allows the fear to
absolutely.
dissipate some.
Right.
Yeah.
I
Right.
would say I'm afraid of like, I'm afraid of like passing away without actually like do anything,
You
if or
better get out
anything
there,
like.
Ross.
Well, it's like
Get out there now.
I have so much like stuff in my head that I feel
Mm,
like I need to figure out a way to get people to understand that I understand, like that I
Okay.
really want I really want people to know that like I feel life stuff, and like I feel the
mm,
feelings that you're supposed to feel when it happen. Like I want other people to be okay with showing, hey, I feel things. I want other people to be okay with that. I want them to experience how good it feels, like feel what you're feeling and say it and express it and not hide
mm.
things. That feels
Yeah,
good to me. I'm afraid of not being able to.
I feel
I'm
that.
so there's a movie called CBGB, closer in Brooklyn than I am to New Jersey, but
Yeah,
CBGB
I was
was
around when they closed down.
yeah. So there's a really great movie
Yeah.
about the history. Guy that started the place was Crystal. Country,
Really?
country, bluegrass, and blues. That's the
Yeah,
music.
that's what
That's
it
what
stands for,
CBGB stands for.
right?
That was the music
Uh,
Billy Crystal was hoping to play
And they
in
were
his
like,
club. But and so I try and always remember Hillary actually, because some people point out that we're in the burbs. Some people notice that I am a lighter complected person. But in hearing people, and majority of the music we're on right now is probably,
I would say, yeah.
now I personally actually I already like I've I'm a very open kind of guy,
Right.
but I always think of Hilly Chris talked about the punk movement. Not a huge fan of the music.
Really?
He really said on more than one occasion he really didn't get it, but what he got, really got, had something to say. That talk about telling. Part of the reason multimedia faceted endeavor is I think that's one way people tell stories.
I personally think that has something like
Right.
every person living, existing, has something.
Well, but what they have, fear that if they say what they really, if they let the world read them, might get judged. And so, literally, concept behind the studio is how do you provide a place in the actual, that reason we don't see each other isn't because we're not looking, it's that we're all so afraid that we're hiding. We all have, ooh, I'm here. Which mask am I supposed to put on now? Which I think a lot of the fear of the world comes into what if I get it wrong? What if I misstep? Oh, how am I going to fix that? And so that I know that a lot of the thing that grinds my gears and slows me down is the fear of what if I get out there and it's not acceptable? And go, ah,
Right.
get the torches.
Right.
The monster is coming.
Right. Exactly.
But I think that's a legitimate part of how humans day to day. That's a lot of the anxiety in the world.
Right.
Part of why I really, and I had this epiphany like halfway through. I was like, I feel like I want to do this rest of my. I think you, but it's like I feel like everybody, everybody I know has something. Everybody I know has an interesting background. They come from something, something that is uniquely theirs, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I almost feel like I would get to know my family better if I started reaching out in like interviews with the rest of us, you know? And I almost feel like it would help out us because like I don't really know you guys that well. I know you because we spent some time together and stuff and we know each other, but like like I kind of have been away from the family for a good amount of time. And I feel like this is a good way to connect, you know?
Hmm.
Get
I don't
one
know.
last
I don't know
plug. Oh,
how
go
others
ahead.
might feel
Go
about
go
that
ahead,
though.
Courtney.
Oh, sorry about that.
No, I'm interested in hearing your answer actually more than mine.
Oh no, I was gonna say that. Yeah, I don't know how a lot of people feel about that. 'Cause,
I mean, it's up
I mean,
to it's up to them. I
yeah,
I would ask and stuff like that, and we would
yeah.
conversate.
I'm gonna put in a quick plug for the next week. And so all of the different tiers of are different levels of talking to people,
Right.
interviewing people now, and they can keep that as something for their family. In other words, one of the option is what if you wanted, just an example, somebody's grandfather interviewed. There's a tier where you go, hey, what I want to do is have you spend some time talking to this person. If you want us to add it to our collection of, can.
It's
If
like a gift or something. Like if like
yeah,
yeah, it's like a
literally,
gift.
it's how do we capture these people? You know,
It's like we all know that one person that we've talked to or we've had a conversation with. Just wish other people could hear. Like I don't know if you've had that happen to you. But like every once in a while, I meet a person, we'll have a conversation, or I'll hear them say something. Dude, that's something everybody should hear. That's amazing. Like
Mm.
just a phrase or just an off the cuff thing that from them. You know?
Right. I think that happens a lot. If you really think of like this whole experience, the sense of being heard, that I feel like that's a catchphrase of the guy's things because I hear that being heard often. But in the sense of the human experience, the idea of being heard by a majority of people is a difficult platform in of itself, right? Being published and world renowned, just having some sort of message and having it heard by, um, you know, a relatively sized audience, then when you take that as the standard, then you see the amongst the 7 billion plus people that exist or have ever existed, um, how many kernels of gold, wisdoms, all those things that got lost.
Right.
Kind of like it's a somewhat of an analogy with um, gold mine, right?
Yeah. Yeah, like digging
But
through a gold
right,
mine. Yeah.
right. There's like a main one that has like this has um, a whole bunch of gold that's more accessible, but then you have like areas that you'll find like a small amount there.
Oh, look at that there. There's a nugget. There's a nugget of
Yeah,
gold there
yeah,
if you just get the dirt off. You know,
yeah,
there's a little nugget in there.
well, and I often think about like how organic knowledge and stuff that kind of wisdom is too. Like it travels. I've always kind of thought of never know where the seeds are going to land or quite how that tree's gonna grow. If
right.
that makes sense. Like it might have sounded wise at one point. Watch this go bad. Dun, 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 dun. Humans are great at
Right,
that.
right. He sounded like he knew what he was talking about. Oh no, he didn't. I don't know what happened. No, I don't know what happened.
Trickle down economics.
um,
What? So what do you
um,
know?
sound cliche, Socrates. In the cult of Socrates, I know nothing. But
My answer. I want you to note that, Ross.
Yeah,
The I know
yeah,
nothing is.
yeah,
I
yeah,
want you to know that he gives
yeah. I
this.
know.
That Courtney's giving my answer. Go ahead. Go ahead, brother man.
yeah,
Preach.
yeah. I really don't know anything. And like, if you asked me that question 10 years ago, I would have had a list. But like, as I'm getting more mature, I like as as technology and information is moving at the speed of light close to it.
Right.
Like, oh my gosh, like what I know is not even relevant anymore. Like I could say a lot of things, and actually also being substitute teacher, like I could tell you how it feels to say you know minutes, hours worth of stuff, and come to a understanding that none of it may have reached anyone that I put
Mm,
that out in
Yeah.
front of,
yeah. That,
Okay.
that's
and like
actually that's an interesting perspective on it. Ever.
uh, it's tough. It's
Yeah.
humbling for starters. Very humbling.
Yeah.
And the world is a very big place, and it gets bigger when you compound. the times or time spaces that you can never reach. So it's like everything I know or have known or will know, just a blip. So humbling. Makes you like think twice, and you know what? I think it also gives value to what you want to prioritize.
Matt was over there celebrating. He was like, "He's giving my speech. He's giving my speech. Finally, somebody else is saying it, and it's not me. So he's listening." I was like, dang it. It's like, yeah,
I never could have
y'all
possibly
got a
known
point.
as much as I do without the power of knowing that I could learn by admitting something.
Yeah, 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 absolutely.
Man, I've been outnumbered.
I'll tell Ross sometimes, like, dude, you're an old soul, brother, but you got to realize you're 19. If old soul means you act like you're 30, I'm still 20 years older than you.
Tell me what.
um, I'm not in want of knowledge. I'm at a point in my life where um, everything I've learned up to now provides for me in some way. You know, in a very concrete, qualitative and quantitative way. Um, I wouldn't say that I've reached fulfillment or my definition of fulfillment, but um, I'm in a place where like I think eh, all the knowledge that comes to me now, I could transform to better serve me, but I'm not really seeking it. And if yeah,
Say that you after any.
yeah, I don't feel like I have. I
You're,
mean the things in life, like having to pay the rent, and like basic things that um basic survival things are still there,
Right.
but in a I wouldn't even say philosophical, but in um emotional sense, I don't really. The only thing, like, okay, so I could imagine myself wanting to know about a person,
Okay.
but it would depend on the situation and where I am. But
Right.
other than that, not really seeking knowledge.
not attached to the idea that you are going, but delighted when you run into makes you have that thought. But in other words, I often what I tell people, my side of
Mm,
things, talk about gather flowers, gather fruit.
Cut flowers.
The idea that no, I
mm,
don't have any expectation that tomorrow is going to give me something, find or discover something. No expectation of that. Hey,
right,
but if I do, I'll gather that up and share it with everybody.
right, right. That's exactly it.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
not like, okay, yeah, no, don't know nothing. I try to listen to everybody when I'm talking to them.
right,
The less I
right,
think I know, the more attentive I am what's around
right,
me.
right.
Right,
And it comes off as caring because it is. Because
because it is, but it's a weird thing. That
it is.
compassionate and in the moment, that
Right,
mindful listening is like
right,
the best gift you can
Right.
give
right.
anybody. Oh, wait a minute, you're actually, oh, you're what I'm saying. And some of
That's
us,
a that's a, that's a real thing. It's shocking too. Very shocking.
when somebody says, "Hey, how you're doing," and they stop and they wait for an answer.
Right.
Wait a
Right.
minute, dude, you're supposed to leave.
Right.
I
Right.
don't have an answer.
It's like, yo, I wasn't supposed to answer questions. What happened?
And
That's when you get, especially from kids, you're weird. But not in a bad way. You know, like, thank
it's
you, I guess.
they give it that Ferris Bueller's moment where they like stop in the universe and turn around and look at the camera and go knock 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 on the glass and go, "Did you not get the message? You're different."
So
I
true.
I will say I was in I feel like all of my interactions were always like kept at the say hi and we nod to each other
Mm.
and stuff. No, but when I went to New York is when I really got diversity in answers. Like it was like
Mm.
some people don't look at me, don't talk to me, don't even think about asking me a question. You know,
New
like
Yorker,
right. There's some people like that, but there's also some people that are really like, "Hey, how you doing?" Or like you'll walk
Midwest
up to them.
tourists.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. There you go. Exactly. You know, I could always spot a Midwesterner. You know, I was pretty good at
Mm.
that. I found some Ohioans.
If you visit Washington, you'll notice the guys in the dark suits, the thing in their ear won't really answer you if you try to talk to
Okay, here it goes. Last question. Why are you here?
To learn how to do good, do as much of it as I
How to do? That's an amazing.
Who
can.
wanted
The
to hit with a
difficult
oh,
path.
go ahead, talk. Yes, I want more of that answer
Not.
actually.
Oh, I was just saying it's a difficult path. Very difficult.
For me, it's the like so trying to act compassionately is a simple thought, and that's a lot.
Right? That's why I think that's why it's the last question. That was the one question that I read that I was like, whoa, God, that's a deep question, man. What? Why are you here? Like on Earth, bro? What are you talking about? What?
You asked me to be on the show, Ross. What are you talking about?
Right?
So that the aliens can come back to get me. So.
Right? I'm trying.
Right? I'm
ET
trying to
phone
send a
home.
beacon here. The heck? Come get me.
ET phone home.
Elliot.
Okay. I'm gonna take the time to ask a bonus question because we got a little bit. Ask one more bonus question. What do you want to say?
Got the mics are open.
Like, yeah,
What would you
if you
tell
had
the world,
anything you
Court?
wanted to say.
Being a substitute teacher, I actually get ask myself that question often. And on the audience really, but I guess if it's like a broad
The
audience, the
world.
world, geez.
It's God talking again. There he is.
Yeah.
Ross,
Geez.
get your hands out of your pants. No, no.
Ah, if it if it is the world, um, would be pursue heaven on earth. Pursue heaven on earth as if it's as real as the paycheck, if it's as real as the next meal, if it's as real as your next love life. Like pursue heaven on earth.
Like it's a
That's,
thing.
yeah,
It's real.
yeah.
don't
Don't
just
wait.
ask for
Yeah.
forgiveness and
Right,
Work
right,
work it here.
right,
I like
right
that.
here, right now.
How how do you think you how do you think have you found how, do you think you found heaven like on earth, or like do you think you ever find it sometimes?
Absolutely. Itself. Yeah. I um I would say after I've lost the most, that's when
Yeah, I
that
get that.
I used to think those stories were like old people writing shite.
You know what? It ends
Until it
up
happened to me.
it's easier to see the stars from the gutter because the glitter of everything
Yeah,
else
Like
distracts you.
yeah. No, that's the fact of it. That is the fact
it's
of
like,
it.
oh, why would Job keep praising God?
Yeah,
Doesn't have anything left. You don't
yeah,
get it.
yeah.
Okay?
Seriously,
Like
seriously. It's when you have so much you can't really see, find stuff because physical stuff is like all up in your everything. It's
right.
overwhelming your senses, right? But
Mm,
then when you go into the proverbial sensory deprivation chamber, everything. But it
Hmm.
really, like the mystics would say, everything is actually divine in nature. When you're devoid of physical, all you will see.
I want to
You
go meditate. Man, this just makes me feel good.
Uplifting makes me feel good.
All
What
right, well,
an amazing
it's
interview.
been great. This has been
Thank you.
really amazing.
It was a pleasure to be a guest.
Wow. Hey Paris,
This was
what a
really good.
what a pleasure to get to meet you.
Man, we really should. There's some topics we could dive into. You know, if at a later date we could definitely dive into.
For sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Give us just a minute,
Are we?
and we're wrapping up the video, and
Okay.
then we're gonna stay on the line.
Okay. Okay. Okay.